Hey y'all, this is the Big Ripper back with you. Rip One Outdoors. Hey, we're gonna take a little ride here in a few minutes. We got a little something we want to relate to y'all about how Picayune became involved with the Super Bowl on Sunday. So yeah, you might find that interesting. What we're gonna be riding, we're gonna ride the Lectric XP 3.0. And you might say, well, what'd you do, paint it? I had a white one. I'll tell you that story out on the road. But anyway, we've got the black XP 3.0. Yeah, we put our seat on here to give us a little bit more comfort. We are using the pogo stick style suspension seat posts from Lectric though that were supplied with the bike. I put a little swept back handlebar on here. Hey, don't that look nice? And it's perfect. I felt like I was extending my arms a little bit too much. So I actually got this link from Crisscross, and he had done a review on this putting this little handlebar on here. And thank you, Chris, for that. It changed my whole riding comfort on this little bike. Of course, we put one of our little bar end mirrors on it over there, put our bell, our phone holder, put a water bottle holder right here. It just wraps around that little stem right there. That's just one that you can buy at Walmart. Yeah, I got it zip tied. But other than that, it's the same old XP 3.0 that you're used to seeing. I just got a little bag back here to carry camera equipment in. I didn't put the front rack on. I just wanted to leave that rack off the front, but I did put the back on. These racks that come with these bikes are extremely heavy. So if I could leave one off, that would lighten and load up just a little bit. Anyway, y'all want to ride along with us? Hey, hop on, many of you as you can. We're gonna ride over towards the airport, spend our lunch break out on the road riding the Lectric XP 3.0. We'll catch y'all down the road. Hey, we're going out for a ride today. It's kind of dark and gloomy. I tell you what, they got some rain moving in, and I thought if I don't take a ride, I better get on the road and take it on my lunch break before this big rain moves in, because there's a lot of it coming. I'll put a graphic here on the screen. Yeah, there's a lot of it coming. I hope it don't flood us out, because it's just now starting to get drying up a little bit down here. 79 degrees and cloudy. Yeah, you can see the clouds. Next thing is we're riding the Lectric XP 3.0. And this is the black one. And you might say, well, I thought you had a white one. I did, but somebody come along and they wanted it worse than I did. Well, that's kind of not the right thing to say. But they wanted it bad enough that they didn't want to have to order it. So they said, you got exactly what we need. I only had just like 15 miles on it. So it really wasn't an issue to me. I just went ahead and let them have it and all the accessories that come with it, and then I just ordered another one because I didn't want to do without the little 3.0. It's very handy. Yeah, it's very handy to me because if I go and get my oil changed in the truck or something like that, hey, hello there, Mr. Buzzard. Yeah, I get my oil changed or something like that, I can just chunk it up in the back of the truck. And when I get over there, you know, and I can just take it out and then ride it home. That's the way I do things around here. I try to use the e-bike as much as I can to benefit me. Big old truck slipped up behind me. He was quiet. I didn't know he was there. You don't ever see big trucks like that with big box trucks coming through here. Because I can tell you, they got some limbs over there on the road that they'll hit that are hanging down. But he seemed to know where he's going. Yeah, trucks are heavy here today. Mow trucks have been hauling down this road as long as I can remember. They started out, they wasn't digging over there. They started out here, right back there where I seen the buzzard. That little road goes up in there. That was the Dot pit, Dot Frierson. And he hauled dirt out of there for years. Foundation of my house, dirt come from there. I tell you, I like the little 3.0. It's very convenient. It's a nice little bike to have for running errands. Hey, I can take it and run to church. I got places, I got the little basket on the back. Of course, y'all seen that from my intro. I showed y'all that. Changed a few things up on it, and to make it where it would be suitable for me. That's usually the way I do all my bikes. Anyway, got a little topic I wanted to talk to y'all about today. It's very seldom that something ever happens around here that involves this Picayune and the surrounding areas. Yeah, I mean, that's of any excitement. You know, New Orleans is a pretty busy place down there. It's about 55 miles south of Picayune, right down Interstate 59. But I know when Hurricane Katrina hit, our little airport out here, it turned into a hub for airplanes and helicopters that were evacuating people out of New Orleans. One thing in particular is they evacuated a lot of the rest homes and convalescent homes, and they brought people up here, and they had ambulances waiting that would take them to other places around, you know, wherever they could find rooms for the people. That was a dramatic thing right there. I can tell you, there was a lot of tense times right there. But I sat there and I watch, and I listen out my window there where I work, because days like today, 79 degrees, I got my window open, and I can hear all the planes coming in and out. Helicopters coming in from the Gulf, bringing people back, and then they taking supplies back out over here at Chevron. Y'all know where that's at. But anyway, come about Friday, the action started happening. A lot more airplane and jet activity. You know, there's not a whole lot of jets, even though there's a couple of them that are housed out here in Picayune. There's just not a whole lot of activity with jets. You know, if one takes off or comes in, you're liable to miss it if you're not standing there waiting on it. It's kind of like waiting on them bald eagles there by the house. They're there. I hadn't seen them in a while. That don't mean they're not there. That just means that I'm not standing out there waiting on them every minute of the day to fly over. Well, that's the way these jets were. Friday, these jets started coming in, and it was I said, okay, that's a pretty good sized jet flying over. We are on what they call the base, the left base. People, they come from north to south, in a left-hand pattern, and they turn the left base about even with my house there, and then they go down, and then they turn and come back into runway 36, coming in from south to north. It all depends on which way the wind's coming, blowing, you know. But yeah, we started hearing more and more Friday, and then Saturday. And Saturday afternoon, I decided I'm just gonna take a ride. Of course, I didn't make a video, but I just rode my wired cruiser over. And I got over here, and lo and behold, you never seen as many jets in Picayune in all your life. And it wasn't some ragtag thing. It was nice, millions of dollars jets. They were all lined up there. And then I sent a text to Donald and Joey telling them about it. And Donald said, Super Bowl. And that's exactly what it was. It was Super Bowl patrons. And they were coming, their charter company, the jet company that chartered their flights, brought them to Picayune. And then they were to meet limousines and what have you to take them on to New Orleans to the Super Bowl, for the Super Bowl. And you know, they wanted to get down there probably on Saturday, so they'd be there in plenty of time and they can mill around New Orleans, you know. So I got up there and I said, you know what? So I took a picture. Normally they don't have the gate open, but this time they had the gate open, but I said, it was kind of cloudy. It was not really good to take pictures. In fact, it looked like rain. So I said, if they're still here tomorrow, I'm gonna come back after church. And I did. And I came back after church Sunday, rode my wired cruiser over, run into one of the guys, Caleb Coulter. He's got a plane, he's a CFI. And he's been mentioning to me to come fly with him sometime. I might take him up on that. But they had the jets in there, y'all. And of course Caleb was standing there. He was there kind of working, I believe. He told me, he said, you want to take some pictures, just walk out in there amongst them and take pictures. They had a police officer, you know, like sitting in his car there guarding things. And the reason they were here is because the parking fee for just an average plane in New Orleans was $9,300, up to $9,300. That's what a buddy of mine, Ken Lofton, said. And he's a pilot for Sanderson Farms, chicken company out of Mississippi. But he said they charged them big time to park. And you can imagine all the Hollywood and all the, you know, all the celebrities and everything piling in there. I see they even had Martha Stewart down there, Kevin Costner. More and more, you know, people down that way for the Super Bowl. So, with that being said, it didn't take them long. They run out of parking room out there at Moyzan Airport. And they had to start going to neighborhood airports. They filled up New Orleans East out there. They filled it up. And then they started coming here. Well, Ken told me that the reason they come to Picayune is because Picayune only charged them $500 a day to park their jet here. Yeah, that whole area, that whole tarmac right back there, that whole thing was full of jets. Everything you could imagine. There's some of them I recognized. I recognized the Citation CJ1. I recognized they had some Beechcraft jets. They had a Beechcraft Denali. I believe that was what it was there. Like I say, I don't know enough about them to know what each one of them were, but there were some of them that were really big jets too. I would say they probably haul 30 and 40 passengers. There's some of them there too. You'll see them on the pictures. So anyway, getting through it, a long drawn out story. Sometimes you don't want me telling you a story. I'll get drawn out too long. There's a nice little Cessna there. I don't know what that is. So anyway, they had their Super Bowl down there. Suzuki watched it. I watched a little of it, and I just come in there sometime checking on things. I wasn't really pulling for any particular team, but I know Kansas City had been winning a lot of them, so I said, I'm gonna pull for the underdog. I'm gonna pull for Philadelphia. And Philadelphia clobbered them. That's who Grayson was pulling for. Yeah, I like that team. I like their coach. I like their quarterback. Jalen Hurts is a special individual from what I've seen. So with the Super Bowl over with, so they started coming, if they were sober enough to get out of there, they come out of there Monday sometime. And yesterday was Monday, today's Tuesday. Yesterday, I could hear them starting them big jets up, and they started taking out of there with them. I think because of the way the wind was blowing, that they took off to the north. I know most of them took off to the north. Maybe one or two of them took off to the south. When they take off to the south, that's when I can see them, because they'll usually bank and on their departure, especially if they're going towards Texas or somewhere, and they'll come right over the house. I'm enjoying the little XP 3.0, I can tell you that. But I'm not enjoying this little sprinkle of rain that I'm starting to feel. Hopefully, I mean, the biggest majority of it's over around Natchez. It hadn't made it here yet. So Picayune got on the map. I mean, they had a lot of the Super Bowl patrons were parked in Picayune in their jets. Some of the people, I put a picture or two on Facebook, some of the people said, that's the rich boys, the toys. And I guess that's right. Somebody asked me Sunday evening, they come by the house, if I was watching the Super Bowl, and I tell you, I said, and, you know, I really could, if it wasn't for Grayson telling me that I couldn't even hardly tell you who was playing. But I do know Grayson told me who was playing, because that's how much I keep up with it. I don't really keep up with a whole lot of it, Super Bowl. I do know it's a lot of money spent there. You could bail out the government on a you know, slow, small, poverty-stricken country with what's spent on that Super Bowl, and especially with what's spent on the players. Ain't that right? But I'm not anti-football. I'm not. That's just not my thing. I just don't get into it. I used to. I could tell you all kind of things about it, but I don't hardly pay attention to it anymore. It's a nice little ride down Airport Road here. I'm just going to ease down here towards the end, and then we're going to say our farewells. Seems like it's kind of quiet in the e-bike world. Hadn't been seeing too much. Of course, I haven't had a whole lot of spare time to watch videos here lately. I've been real busy at work, and yeah, I haven't been able to spend a lot of time doing that. But I haven't seen a whole lot out there either. See if the little Cessna's still there. Yeah, he's got it fired up. Looks like he's fixing to take off. Maybe if we hang around down here, we might catch him taking off. Anyway, y'all see these little trailers right here? I might have told y'all this before, but y'all see these little trailers here? These are what the helicopter agriculture spraying companies use. They fill them up with nutrients, you know, to spray on the crops, and they fill them up with whatever, insecticides or whatever, something that mixed with water, and they land that helicopter there on the top of that thing. And they've been here a while. They probably just letting them use this place to store it here. I can't say as I've ever seen one of them come in here. They usually pull them to the farm fields where they are actually working and park it, and they have somebody that services the pump and everything, you know, pump the stuff into the helicopter, and all the helicopter's got to do, he's just got to be good enough, skilled enough to where he can land it and sit there on top of that thing until they fill him back up, and then boom, he's off again. They fill him up with fuel and the whatever he's spraying there, you know. That's a big motor on that plane, whatever it is. I can go on FlightAware and pull up his number and tell what kind of plane that is. I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna sign off with y'all because it don't look like he's coming out for a while.